Exposed, the incredible journey of a runaway bride who discovered love 3 years later. Emma stood at the altar, the weight of expectations crushing her spirit. The soft pastels of wedding decorations blurred in her tear-filled eyes, and the whispers of her relatives echoed in her ears like an unbearable cacophony. This wasn't just a wedding, it felt like a funeral for her dreams. Josh, with his military charm and unwavering faith in love, looked at her with an intensity that should have made her heart flutter. Instead, it sank deep into her chest. The life her family dreamed for her threatened to swallow her whole. Panic struck, sharp and sudden. Before her mind could catch up, she bolted, running through the church doors and into the open air, escaping the cage built around her by love and obligation. She was free, but the taste of freedom was bittersweet. Fast forward 3 years, and Emma navigated the sprawling chaos of urban life. From the cozy aroma of coffee shops to the vibrance of art galleries, she hustled in bustling cities, each day a testament to her hard-fought independence. The noise of traffic and the hum of diverse voices resonated with her longing for something more. Each new job reminded her of resilience, pulling stories from strangers, tales of grit that spoke to the heart of America's spirit. Yet, haunting echoes of her past lingered. Memories of Josh's laughter, his hopeful gaze pulled at her like a tether she couldn't sever. Moving through her new life, Emma had carved out a space, but guilt always shadowed her. She was living, but was she truly free? It was during a late-night art show that she stumbled upon Max, a wild-haired artist with a spark that ignited her dormant creativity. Their friendship blossomed, breathing life into the art that had always been inside her. She began to shed the expectations of her family, redefining her self-worth, finally glimpsing who she was meant to be. As the colors of her new life pulsed around her, Josh's memory became both a comfort and a burden. Then came the unexpected invitation, a community art festival, where she would unwittingly cross paths with him. As she navigated through the vibrancy of colors, the pulse of music and laughter surrounded her, but her heart pounded a different rhythm, mirroring the anxiety of their unresolved connection. When their eyes met across the crowd, time froze. The world around them faded, a festival of colors morphing into a backdrop for their own intense silence. Emma's breath caught. Would she finally have the courage to speak? The hope and shame twisted into knots in her stomach. Could he forgive her? Was love really lost? Before she could muster her thoughts, the crowd surged, pulling Josh momentarily away. Emma stood alone, her heart racing wildly in her chest. Moments stretched infinitely, uncertainty gnawing at her soul. Was it too late to mend the heart she had so recklessly abandoned? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The air pulsed with anticipation, thrilling yet heavy. As the festival whirled around her, Emma's breath steadied, but the questions still loomed. Could this fleeting moment be the doorway to a second chance, or was it doomed to remain a bittersweet memory? The warmth of the crowd enveloped her, and with it came the fear of lingering scars that might never heal. As Emma stood rooted in place, the vibrant colors of the festival swirled around her like a whirlwind. Laughter floated in and out of her ears, but all she could focus on was the figure of Josh, just a few feet away. He was talking to a friend, his smile dazzling, eyes sparkling with the contagion of joy that seemed to radiate from him. The sight sent a jolt through her, awakening a flood of memories she thought she had tucked away. She blinked hard, willing the emotions to settle. What was she supposed to do? Run back into her past or embrace the future? The sound of music grew louder, but it felt like a soft whisper against the chaos in her mind. She could almost hear her heart screaming at her to act. Just as a surge of courage washed over her, Josh turned, and their eyes met again. This time, the connection shot through her like an electric current. She could see the flicker of surprise on his face, a mixture of confusion and hope that mirrored her own feelings. What did he see when he looked at her? Did he still hold resentment, or had time softened the edges of their shared history? With her heart racing, Emma took a step forward, then hesitated, fear gripping her. Memories of long-ago moments flooded back, quiet evenings spent dreaming of tomorrow, the laughter they shared, the plans they made. Yet, just as quickly, shadows of doubt crept in. Would he want to hear her excuses? Was there still a path back to each other? Suddenly, the noise of the festival dulled. It felt like all those vibrant voices faded into the background as the real world reduced to just the two of them. A little girl danced nearby, her carefree joy reminding Emma of the innocence they once shared. If only things could return to that simplicity, a time when love felt untainted by choices and regrets. As she finally found her voice, the world seemed to rush back in. Josh, she breathed, the word escaping her lips like a prayer. But before she could move closer, something shifted in his expression. He looked away for a brief moment, then looked back, determination solidified on his face. "Emma," he called, weaving through the crowd toward her, and her heart soared at the sound of her name on his lips. She could see it in his stride, the mixture of eagerness and hesitation. It mirrored her own feelings, leaving her both terrified and exhilarated. When he reached her, the air thickened with unspoken words. His blue eyes bore into hers as if searching for something that had been lost. "I didn't expect to see you here," he began, but the weight of everything unsaid hung heavy between them. She swallowed. "I didn't know if I could face you again." A tender silence wrapped around them, each breath a reminder of the time they had lost. The festival around them faded back into the background, stifling their true feelings as the moments stretched. Would they allow the past to dictate their future, or could they bridge the gap that lay between them? "Mending what was broken starts with honesty," he said finally, determination lining his voice. Emma's heart quickened at his words, her pulse echoing in her ears. She felt herself standing on the edge of a precipice, terrified but intrigued by the possibilities below. But could revealing the truth unlock a door, or would it shatter the fragile hope of a second chance? Emma inhaled deeply, ready to unveil the tangled cords of her heart. Would that moment define them, or send them spiraling apart once more? As the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a golden glow around them, a new question emerged. Was it too late to love, to forgive, and to start anew? The moment hung between them, fragile as gossamer. Emma's heart raced, a wild drumbeat in her chest as she searched Josh's expression. Would he see the conflict wrapped inside her? The doubts? The regrets? She opened her mouth to speak, but nothing came out. The music from the festival rose and fell behind her, a distant reminder of reality. "Emma," he said, his voice steady, but the vulnerability in his eyes betrayed him. "After everything," I thought. He paused, as if weighing his words carefully. "I thought we'd burned every bridge." She could feel her throat tightening. "I never meant to hurt you," she whispered. How could she possibly explain the choices she'd made? The reason she left? He had always deserved the truth, but revealing it felt like tearing open old wounds. "Then tell me," he urged, stepping closer. The crowd pressed in around them, but with every step he took, everything else faded away. "Just tell me what happened. We can't move forward without it." Emotion bubbled up inside her, a mix of sorrow and hope. She nodded, forcing her voice to remain steady. "I was scared, Josh. Scared of what we could become. I didn't think I could handle it." "Handle what?" His eyes searched hers, a storm of feelings swirling behind them: pain, confusion, and a flicker of something warmer, something willing to forgive. "Handle the love," she confessed, feeling the weight of each word. I know that sounds foolish, but she hesitated. How could he possibly understand? "Love shouldn't be scary, Emma." His words hung in the air, yet they crystallized the very essence of their past. As she watched him, someone she once knew so intimately, she could almost taste the fear of what they had both lost. "You can't let it drive you away." The festival around them erupted into laughter, fireworks bursting in the sky, but for Emma, nothing else existed. She was isolated in this moment, and for the first time in years, She allowed herself to meet that flickering hope. "I want to be honest," she said slowly. "But I'm terrified you won't want me anymore after I tell you. Emma, I still care about you. I always did." His hand reached out, brushing against hers. The contact shot through her like lightning, igniting something long buried. "Then what if I ruin everything?" Panic layered her voice. "What if I say the wrong thing? You won't?" His confidence cracked the armor around her heart, allowing a small crack of light to seep in. "You've already faced so much. All you need to do now is trust me." As those words hung in the air, the unmistakable sound of a child's laughter broke through. They both turned to see the little girl from earlier, twirling beneath the fireworks, delighting in the vivid colors above her. In that fleeting moment of innocence, the air around them shifted. Would love be the adventure they once dreamed of, or a haunting reminder of what could have been? Fingers intertwined, emotions dancing in the space between them, Emma took a deep breath. "I want to tell you everything." The sun dipped below the horizon, stars beginning to twinkle against the deepening blue sky. She could feel the warmth of Josh's palm against hers, grounding her. There they stood, on the brink of something monumental, but just as Emma gathered strength to continue, her phone buzzed in her pocket, a call from someone she had long since forgotten. Would this unexpected disruption alter the course of their conversation? Or could they push through and uncover the connection that lay just beneath the surface? Emma's heart sank as her phone buzzed again, a stark reality pulling her back from the brink. She hesitated, glancing at the screen. The name made her stomach churn. Jessica. It felt like a ghost from the past, looming over her in that moment of newfound clarity. She started, more to herself than to Josh. But the uncertainty hung heavy in the air. "Answer it," Josh encouraged softly, squeezing her hand a little tighter. "You never know what it could be about." His eyes held a mixture of understanding and concern, as if he sensed she was on the verge of something deeper than just a phone call. With a shaky breath, Emma answered, glancing around the festival. Couples laughed, dancers twirled, and children squealed with delight. But in that moment, it all felt distant. She was holding her breath, waiting for something to break the spell. "Hello?" She breathed into the phone, her voice just above a whisper. "Emma, thank God you picked up." Jessica's voice burst through, frantic and urgent. "I need to talk to you. It's about the wedding." Emma's heart raced, not from excitement, but from dread. Just hearing the word wedding immediately brought up the whirlwind of emotions she had tried so hard to suppress. It was the life she had run from, the life she thought she had escaped. "Jessica," she said, trying to keep her voice steady, "I'm not sure if now's a good time. Can we talk later?" "Emma, you need to listen to me." Jessica was breathless. "He's looking for you. He's desperate to have a conversation. You can't ignore this forever." Josh's brows knitted together in concern as he caught her gaze. The connection she felt with him flickered, unsure and hesitant at the mention of her past. I don't want to go back there." Emma's words tumbled out, the fear creeping in. "Not now. Just hear him out. He wants to understand. You owe him that much." "Oh?" The word echoed in Emma's mind, crashing against her walls, threatening to break free the emotions she had kept at bay. She glanced at Josh, who was watching her intently, clearly struggling to follow the one-sided conversation. She finally murmured, yearning for the gentle solace she found in Josh's presence. Jessica's voice cut through her thoughts. "Emma, just think about this. He was your fiancé. Life doesn't just disappear because you've walked away. Don't you at least owe yourself closure?" With a heavy sigh, Emma closed her eyes, sealing off the world around her for just a moment. Josh stepped forward, concern etching lines across his face. He opened his mouth to say something, but she waved him to wait. She needed to figure this out. As she stood there, caught between two tumultuous worlds, Emma felt a twinge of panic. This moment could shift everything, both the truth she needed to share with Josh and the past that threatened to consume her. "Okay, I'll think about it, but please, just not now," she half-whispered before disconnecting the call. The silence of the moment drew them back to one another. Josh, now more than just a figment of hope, but a living, breathing anchor. "Who is that?" He asked gently, his eyes searching hers for answers. Someone from my past, Emma admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. As the world around them buzzed on, it hit her suddenly, could she really just stand still? Or did she have to face the specter head-on? I need to choose, she said suddenly, her heart thundering in her chest. Between telling you everything and facing what happened before. The moment hung between them again, heavy as a weight she could barely carry. Would she crumble under it or rise, ready to confront both her past and her future? Emma took a deep breath, ready to forge ahead, but the question loomed, would she find the courage to finally tell Josh the truth? Emma felt torn as she stared into Josh's eyes, feeling the weight of her past pressing down on her. There was something in his gaze, patience, concern, maybe even love, that made her want to share everything. But the fear of unearthing old scars gripped her. Josh, she began, her voice faltering. There are things I haven't told you. Things about why I left. He nodded slowly, encouraging her with the warmth of his hand still enveloping hers. You can tell me. Whenever you're ready. Taking a step back, Emma assessed the vibrancy of the festival around them. Bright lights twinkled, laughter echoed, and a band kicked up a cheerful tune nearby. Yet, she felt sealed off, as if a thick glass wall separated her from the joy swirling around. Let us go sit down, she suggested, her mind racing. They found a quiet corner, slightly away from the jubilant crowd. The sound of her heartbeats filled the silence. Once seated, she took a deep breath, trying to find the words that felt elusive. The burbling of nearby laughter faded as she prepared to delve into sensitive territory. 3 years ago, I was engaged. His name was Ryan. At the mention of his name, a shadow passed over her as bittersweet memories flooded back, laughing together, planning a future, all the hope that had tied them together. Ryan had been everything to her until he wasn't. Josh's eyes widened, and he leaned closer. What happened? Emma swallowed hard. I panicked. I thought I would lose myself in a life that wasn't mine. She hesitated, grappling with the guilt of unraveling her past. I didn't just leave Ryan. I ran away from who I thought I had to be. Did he know you felt like that? Josh asked softly, his tone filled with genuine concern. No. I never told him. I just left on the day of the wedding. I couldn't go through with it. I thought it was the only way to save myself. Emma could feel the shame creeping up her spine, heat prickling her skin. But I didn't save myself, Josh. I just ran and hid. I thought breaking it off would free me, but instead, it only shackled me with guilt and regret. Josh's eyes softened. And now Jessica calls? What does she want? She says Ryan's looking for me. Emma's voice wavered. After all this time, he wants to talk. I don't know if I'm ready for that, or if I even want to face him. Do you think you owe it to him? To yourself? She could feel the tremor in her hands, but Josh held onto them firmly, providing the strength she lacked. I don't know, she confessed. Part of me is terrified. I left a huge mess behind. What if talking to him just opens old wounds? What if it changes everything I've built here with you? Josh took a deep breath, his forehead crinkling as he contemplated her thoughts. Emma, whatever happens, you don't have to face it alone. I'm here for you even if it gets messy. His words washed over her, an unexpected comfort that tried to soothe the turmoil bubbling inside. So, you want to face whatever's coming? She asked, searching for reassurance in his expression. Even if it means confronting the past? He nodded, certainty illuminating his features. Even if it's hard. It's part of you. And since I care about you, it's part of me too. Apprehension lingered, swirling like the colors of the festival around them. Emma felt the tension within her, the pull to set things right, but also the heavy weight of uncertainty. Okay, she finally whispered, a fragile hope blossoming amidst her fear. I'll do it. I'll talk to him. But I need time. The moment felt significant, a step toward freedom, yet the heaviness settled in her chest. She understood now that facing her past wouldn't just define her, it would shape her future too. As they sat there, side by side, a change hung in the air. Would she find a resolution, or would the past swallow her whole? And as thoughts raced through her mind, Filled with fear and a flicker of hope, the question lingered: what would it mean to truly find closure? Emma's heart raced as she looked around the festival. The lively atmosphere felt both alien and suffocating. The laughter of children and the cheerful melodies swirled like a distant echo, reminding her of everything she wanted to forget. She pulled her gaze back to Josh, who still held her hands, grounding her in that moment, waiting patiently for her to gather herself. "I want to do this," she finally said, a surge of resolve piercing through her uncertainty. Yet, behind that resolve was a gnawing dread. What if this conversation changed everything? What if the Ryan she left behind was still waiting to snatch away whatever piece she's carved out for herself? "Good," Josh said with an encouraging smile, though she could see the concern in his eyes. "Just remember, you're in control. You decide how far you want to go." She nodded, but felt the heaviness in her chest intensify. "I need to tell Ryan the truth. Not just for him, but for myself. I owe him that much, I think." As they talked, Emma could sense a flickering light beyond the shadows of her past. There was something liberating about voicing her feelings, her fears, even if it was just to Josh. He breathed confidence into her, stirring a part of her that had long laid dormant. "Maybe now it's time to stop running," she whispered more to herself than to Josh. A soft breeze carried the sweet scent of cotton candy and popcorn, but it felt far removed from her thoughts. Instead, she was lost in the memories of Ryan, the way he used to laugh, the way they would lay under stars and dream about the future. She felt guilt creeping in again. Had he ever truly understood why she left? Did he blame her? "Are you okay?" Josh's voice cut through her spiral. "Yeah," she replied, forcing a smile. "Just thinking." "Want to take a walk?" he suggested, standing and offering his hand. Maybe a little distraction would help. As she accepted his hand, a wave of comfort washed over her, reminding her of the present and the new life she was building. They strolled through the festival, sharing small talk, watching children run by, adults enjoying festive treats and warm laughter that filled the air. But even amid the laughter, her mind buzzed with the looming conversation with Ryan. What would she say? How would she begin to explain the mixed emotions that had driven her away? Would there ever be a way to ease the hurt she had caused? A part of her wasn't ready for any of it, but it was like standing at the edge of a diving board, peering below. She couldn't climb down now, she needed to leap. "Let us grab some food," Josh suggested, pointing towards a brightly lit stand selling funnel cakes. "It might help take your mind off things." She chuckled lightly, grateful for his attempt to lighten the mood. "I'm pretty sure everything's better with food." As they walked, sharing stories about childhood memories attached to different festival foods, Emma felt a flicker of hope. She might be stepping into a difficult conversation with Ryan, but she was not alone. "After we eat, how about we find a quiet spot?" Josh asked. "We can sit for a bit and talk some more." "Good idea," she sighed, her tension easing just a touch. "I think I'll need that." They found a secluded bench adorned with twinkling fairy lights, stepping away from the bustling crowd. Emma watched as people danced and laughed. Their joy felt like a stark contrast to her inner turmoil. "Hey," Josh said softly, nudging her shoulder. "One step at a time. Whatever happens, I'll be right here with you." "Thanks." Her voice was barely above a whisper. Suddenly, a loud cheer erupted from the crowd, pulling their attention back. A couple on the nearby dance floor twirled together, joy radiating from them, completely oblivious to the world. It sent a rush through Emma, a reminder that love, in all its forms, still existed. But would she ever get back to that kind of happiness? As they settled on the bench, the festival lights shimmering above them, the question lingered in her mind, heavy yet hopeful. Was it possible to rebuild the bonds she had severed, or was she destined to remain a ghost of her former self, forever haunted by choices made in fear? And as the crowd surged with energy, Emma couldn't help but wonder what awaited her on the other side of this inevitable reckoning. With the sweet scent of funnel cakes lingering in the air, Emma's gaze drifted towards the twinkling lights strung overhead. They shifted colors: red, blue, and gold, like memories flickering in her mind. She felt both lost and found, with a knot of uncertainty gripping her heart. Hey, look, Josh said, breaking her reverie. He pointed to a couple across the way, the same pair that had twirled joyfully before. They look so happy, right? Emma forced a smile. Yeah, they do. But a weight settled deeper in her chest. Would she ever have that lightness again? Not to take away from their moment, he continued, but it's just different for everyone. You'll find your way. His voice was warm and sincere, wrapping around her like a comforting blanket. Do you really think so? She searched his eyes for reassurance. I mean, after everything, of course. Just take it a step, no, a leap at a time, Josh said, squeezing her hand. You're stronger than you think. Before she could respond, a loud laugh erupted nearby. They turned to see a group of friends huddled together, sharing stories and pulling each other into spontaneous dances. Emma felt an ache of envy. Could she ever have that kind of carefree joy again? Her heart sank as Ryan's face flashed through her mind, his laughter intertwined with memories that felt like daggers and soft whispers all at once. What if he has moved on? She mumbled, almost to herself. Josh's grip tightened, bringing her back to the moment. That's possible. But think of it this way. Everyone moves forward in their own way. Why should you bear the past alone? His words struck a chord deep within her. It wasn't just about Ryan anymore. It was about her journey, the steps she had taken, and those yet to come. With a nod, Emma took a deep breath, grounding herself. You're right. Just take it one step at a time. Exactly, he encouraged, beaming at her. And when we're done here, if you feel ready, I'll go with you to talk to Ryan. You won't be alone in that, either. Thanks, Josh, she said, feeling a wave of gratitude wash over her. Seriously, this means a lot. As more festival-goers danced around them, she felt a flicker of determination pulse beneath the uncertainty. The crowd swirled in joy, but in her heart, she realized that facing Ryan wouldn't just be about him. It was about embracing her own truth, the one she had long hidden. Let us finish our funnel cakes and then find that quiet spot, she said, uncovering a grin. It's time I start to share those truths. They shared the sweet, crispy delight, laughter spilling from her lips, warming the cold edges of fear that had held her captive for too long. But just as they started to settle into the lightness of the moment, a sudden shout within the crowd cascaded over the music. Emma whipped around to see a commotion breaking out. Two festival attendees were locked in a heated argument, the festive atmosphere now disrupted by raised voices and passionate gestures. Is everything okay? She murmured, glancing at Josh. His brow knitted in concern. Let us check it out. It could be nothing, or as they made their way toward the source of the chaos, Emma's heart raced again, though this time it was a mix of anticipation and dread. What if something happened that changed everything? The drifting haze of the festival faded as the argument escalated, drawing Emma in with an unsettling intrigue. Just then, she felt a pang of anxiety, not just about Ryan, but also about the real conversations life was throwing at her, whether she was ready or not. What truths lurked behind this disturbance that mirrored her own? And would this experience help her confront the reality waiting for her when she talked to Ryan? As the shouts grew louder and more chaotic, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that her attempts at soothing her past might collide suddenly with the unexpected. And she couldn't help but wonder, how would this all unfold? The crowd thickened as Emma and Josh approached the scene. The arguing voices grew clearer, echoing her own inner turmoil. A tall woman, her face flushed with anger, was shouting at a man who seemed equally upset. The reasons for their disagreement were not clear, but the intensity of their emotions was palpable, reflection of the uncertainties swirling within Emma. Come on, just listen for once. The woman yelled, hands gesturing wildly, her voice trembling. The man responded, his tone sharp. You think I want this? You think it's easy for me? Emma's heart raced. She could feel the tension coiling in the air, a reminder of her struggles, her regrets. The past few months had felt like a tangled web, and now, watching this couple fight, it was as if they were laying bare the raw wounds that she tried to mask. Josh leaned closer, his brow furrowed. Do you think we should step in? No, Emma whispered, shaking her head. Not yet. She needed to see where this was going, to feel some connection to the chaos. After all, she was fighting her own battles just beneath the surface. Suddenly, the woman caught sight of Emma and Josh, her eyes glinting with a spark of shared desire, the need to be seen. "You don't understand anything," she shouted, the words piercing through Emma. It felt personal. "Maybe we do," Emma said softly, surprising even herself. She stepped forward, drawn in by the whirlwind of feelings. "We've all been there." For a moment, the woman's stormy expression softened, as if something in Emma's voice resonated. But the man stepped forward, his face a mixture of frustration and confusion. "This isn't about you. It's our fight." Despite the heat of the moment, Emma felt a rush of empathy. "But isn't that the point?" she asked, her voice steady now. "We all have our battles. You're feeling something real right now, just like me." The crowd began to quiet as they listened, the festival lights shimmering like stars against the backdrop of palpable tension. "What are you trying to say?" The woman's tone had shifted slightly, hinting at curiosity rather than anger. Emma swallowed hard. I guess we're all afraid of being alone in what we're going through. We feel trapped in our own stories." Josh stepped beside her, his presence grounding. "It's okay to talk about it. It's okay to let people in," he added, warmth radiating from his words. The arguing couple looked at each other, vulnerability creeping into their expressions. Emma held her breath, her own uncertainties cascading to the surface. Would they confront their truth, just as she intended to do with Ryan? In that instant, Emma felt a flicker of hope. If they could face their emotions in front of strangers, then surely she could do it too. "I need to talk to him," she said suddenly, determination rising within. She glanced at Josh. "Are you with me?" Josh's smile was encouraging. "Always." They began to move away from the couple, who were still caught in their moment of reflection, the crowd around them erupting into whispers of support and understanding. Emma felt lighter, the heaviness of dread dissipating slightly. As they continued toward the edge of the festival, her heart raced. She knew what she had to do, but she couldn't ignore the lingering questions. What would she say to Ryan? Would he feel the same way? Just take it one step at a time, she reminded herself, echoing Josh's previous words. But as they approached the quieter area where Ryan often liked to sit, an unexpected twist caught her off guard. A figure appeared in the distance, unmistakably Ryan, his back turned to her. Emma's heart pounded as the moment that could change everything crested before her. Would Ryan be open to this conversation? Would they find their way back to each other, or was this truly the end? Deep breath. Here goes everything. Emma's palms felt damp as she moved closer to Ryan, the soft hum of festival music fading into the background. Each step felt heavier, a weight of anticipation anchoring her feet. What if he wasn't ready to talk? What if he had moved on, leaving her behind not just physically, but emotionally too? When she was just a few feet away, Ryan turned slightly, glancing over his shoulder. The moment their eyes met, Emma's heart soared, then dropped. He looked different, the warmth in his eyes replaced by a shadow of uncertainty. "Emma?" His voice carried a hint of disbelief, as though he couldn't quite comprehend her presence. "Hey," words failed her momentarily, tangled up with doubt and fear. But she wouldn't let that stop her. "Can we talk?" Ryan's breath hitched, and he hesitated, glancing around as if searching for an escape. Emma felt a sting. Was he ashamed to be seen with her? Right now? He finally asked, his voice low. "Yeah, right now," she pushed, her nervousness hardening into resolve. With a reluctant sigh, he nodded and turned to face her fully, crossing his arms as if to shield himself. The flickering festival lights illuminated his features, casting him in a soft glow that made every emotion on his face all the more apparent. "I didn't think I'd see you here," he said, his eyes searching her face for something, perhaps an answer to questions long left unanswered. "I didn't either. I was just caught up in my head, I guess." She took a deep breath, steadying herself. "I've been thinking a lot about us. About everything." Ryan shifted slightly, his guard still up. "What is there to think about?" "Everything," Emma insisted, her voice rising. "We were lost, Ryan. I was lost. But I'm trying to find my way back, and I need to know if you'll help me navigate this." His expression hardened for a moment, then softened almost imperceptibly. You think it's that easy? You think just because you decided to show up, it changes everything? No, I don't think it's easy at all, she replied, frustration bubbling inside her. But we've been through hell and back. I still care about you, and I want to know if you feel the same way. Ryan ran a hand through his hair, a gesture she recognized from their past. It was a sign of his internal conflict. Emma, it hurt when you left. You don't just get over that. I don't think we can just pick up where we left off. Her heart sank. I'm not asking for that. I want to be honest. I didn't appreciate what we had until I lost it. Silence stretched between them, thick and heavy. Emma could feel every pulse of her heartbeat, the noise of the festival around them dimming to a whisper. I needed time to figure things out, he said finally, his voice quieter now. To understand what I want, who I want. Emma felt her chest tighten. She was prepared for this, but not for the reality of it. Do you still want me? Ryan looked at her, really looked at her. I don't know. The words stung, and tears threatened to spill. I guess that's the answer I deserve, she murmured, swallowing hard to push back the emotion. Emma, he started, reaching out, but she stepped back, putting distance between their hearts and the ache of broken dreams. I don't want to listen to what could have been, she interrupted. I want to know if we can try again. As she turned to walk away, she felt the breeze shift, a quick flicker of hope in the deepening twilight. If you decide you want me, I'll be here, she threw over her shoulder, spine steeling as she continued on. But just as she was ready to leave, she heard Ryan call her name. Emma. Had she truly walked away from the chance to reconnect, or was there still a glimmer of hope left to explore? The faint sound of her heart pounding echoed in her ears as she turned back, waiting for him to say what hung in the air between them like an unsaid promise. Emma. His voice was filled with urgency, tethering her foot to the ground as she spun back around. Her heart raced, a wild drumbeat in her chest, and she held her breath, awaiting his next words. For a split second, the world dissolved, the bright festival lights dimmed, and the joyful music faded into a whisper. All that existed was the two of them, standing amid the wreckage of the past, with the promise of an uncertain future hanging between them. Ryan stepped closer, his expression wavering between fear and longing. I may not know what I want right now, he admitted, his voice rough with emotion, but walking away from what we had, it still haunts me. You may have left on your wedding day, but I didn't stop loving you. Every fiber of Emma's being trembled at his admission. The warmth of hope ignited inside her chest. But what does that mean for us? She pressed, her heart racing through every word. Can we find a way back? Ryan hesitated, glancing away as if gathering the fragments of his past and shaping them anew. I don't want to hurt you again. Leaving you behind was brutal. But I sense you're not the only one with things to say, he finally said softly. The sincerity in his eyes made Emma feel seen, every piece of her heart laid bare. Devoid of the shadow of her past choices, she felt lighter, freer. She stepped forward and whispered, "Let us try. Let us be honest with ourselves and each other." Before he could respond, Josh walked up behind Emma, gently resting a hand on her shoulder, grounding her once again. You okay? He asked quietly, his expression a mix of concern and curiosity. Emma turned, seeking solace in his familiar gaze. I think I am, she replied, uncertainty still lingering, but tightly wrapped with resolve. But would you mind giving us a moment? Josh nodded, a flicker of understanding passing between the two before he stepped aside, his presence still comforting. Emma, Ryan's voice pulled her back, slinking through the air like a lost melody. I appreciate you coming to me with this. I don't want to ignore our past. It deserves more than that. Emma felt a surge of courage. I ran because I was scared. I didn't think I could handle the weight of love. As Ryan listened, tracing the ground with his gaze, she continued. But I realize now love isn't a burden. It's void of judgment, of resentment. It's the connection that ties us, and I don't want to run anymore. Slowly, Ryan looked up, his eyes brightening with hope, with a spark of rekindled affection. I need time. Time to process everything you've said. to understand us again. Emma's heart raced. I'm willing to wait. I'll be here. There was clarity in her words now, a depth of understanding that resonated throughout her being. But let us not pretend we are who we were, Ryan added, his voice steady now, cementing the foundation for an honest conversation. Let us discover who we can be together. A smile crept across Emma's face, the glimmer of renewed hope illuminating her heart. I can do that, she promised, the world around them breathing a sigh of relief, filled with the promise of their shared journey. Let us start fresh, Ryan said, a hint of a smile teasing at the corners of his mouth. Suddenly, laughter erupted from the festival, loud and cheerful, a backdrop to their renewed hope. Under the vibrant lights, that same shimmer of joy began to reflect in both their faces. Emma turned to Josh, who stood a few paces away, watching with a smile. With a rush of gratitude, she called out, "Thank you for being here. I don't know what I'd do without you." Josh smiled wider. "I'm proud of you, Emma. No matter how rocky the road gets, I'm here." As she grasped the new connection forming between Ryan and herself, she felt a wave of strength rise within her. The past would not define her. The future was unwritten, and she was ready to embrace whatever came next. The festival sounds swirled around them, children dancing with bright balloons, the laughter of couples echoing through the evening air. Emma let out a laugh, feeling the true essence of freedom forging ahead, with remnants of her heart laid bare in front of both men who represented pieces of her past and future. "Let us go savor this festival together," she proposed suddenly, her spirit buoyant. "There's a world out there waiting for us to discover." Ryan nodded, a blend of excitement and hesitation still evident in his gaze. She reached to take his hand, and without hesitation, he intertwined their fingers, a silent pledge for their renewed journey. With Josh beside them, they ventured back into the heart of the festival, moving toward the laughter, the music, and the possibility of new beginnings that shimmered brightly above them. Emma knew this was just the beginning. Together now, united, she and Ryan would face whatever awaited on the horizon, while Josh would walk alongside, a steadfast friend ready to embrace every moment. And with that, they stepped into a world where love was not just a dream but a beautiful, ever-changing journey waiting to unfold. This is the moment where life thrives, where you take the plunge into the unknown. Now, it's your turn. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your love. Comment your reactions and feelings about this powerful ending. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait, not even one more second. Show your support for us to keep bringing you inspiring stories that touch the heart.